Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rodeo Time, the podcast. Today, we have a 4/6's cowboy, Mr. Kai Fuston. He's over at the newly stationed West Camp at the 4/6's. So excited to hear about Kai's story. Please go to 46steak.com and get yourself some beef that came from none other than the 4/6's. Use code DALE for free shipping with orders over $50. And I think that's now through the end of the month. Check out 46steak.com. Welcome to the Rodeo Time podcast. Kai Fuston. You might be the most talked about person within the Texas Cowpuncher series without having been on. Well, I mean, you were on with Tim, but Tim did most of the talking.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
All these guys talk about you a lot.
They're just talking about me because I'm fun to talk about, not in a good way, probably. Yeah.
That was hilarious. Whenever we did Tim's podcast, the questions from the audience for the mix-up between Kai Fuston and
Kai Hamilton. Yes, yeah. It kind of threw me for a loop because at one point I thought it was actually me.
Yeah,
I got knocked out in Vegas. Yes.
Yeah, because Kai Hamilton had been knocked out in Vegas, and the first question was about your accent, and you were like, "Yeah, I guess I got an accent." Donnie, will you shut this door behind me? And then the second question was, "What was it like getting knocked out in Vegas?" Because he had,
by that bull. Yeah,
the day after he got knocked out, he won like $100,000, so it was a big deal.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to us, you had been knocked out in Vegas.
Nearly. No, I didn't completely go out, but yeah, I got.
A homeless man hit you.
I got hit, but I don't know
this
if
private story that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
And you were like, "How did you know?"
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a wild ride there at Vegas.
What happened
there? Well, I don't know. We went to Vegas with my, that would have been the second year we went to the World Series finals. And we were just never been there. That was the second year there. The first year there, we really, really didn't go anywhere.
Right.
All we really did was go to the rope and come back and just hang out. So the second year, we thought we'd walk down the boulevard, and we walked outside of, I think it was Hotel Paris. And this guy was harassing this girl, and long story short, we had some friends with us, and like he was getting in her face and like being pretty rough. And anyway, I got caught with a right when I was trying to get the girl out of the way with my wife right beside me. And anyways, long story short, if there was a SWAT team watching this dude because he was soliciting drugs and I don't know what else, but anyway,
So they interceded.
They interceded, and we didn't go to jail, and we got to go on about our evening. So it was good. Yeah.
You were like, "Dang, I didn't think anybody knew about that."
No.
How'd you do? I didn't realize you went out there. Were you healing?
No, I was heading, actually. Rewind the year before, we went to the Bell, or I went to the Bell for a little bit, and I hadn't roped for like 3 years. A good friend of mine, Al Martinez, he's a phenomenal healer. He used to work for the U.S. and flagged a bunch. And anyways, I just on a camp out there, and he had a run. I think it was in the 11 before they made 11 and a half and all that. Anyways, it was in the 11, and his partner got bucked off like a month before. Well, I had never been to Vegas. I've been to some World Series, but anyways, he got bucked off, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go to Vegas?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." And he's like, "Well, I'll enter us, and we'll go rope." Well, I didn't have a horse, really didn't have the means or the finance. Like I didn't have the money or anything to go. Anyways, I was like, yeah. So we started practicing, and I had a head horse that I could kind of get by on, but I was like, I'm not taking him to Vegas to go rope on. So I had to borrow a horse and everything. Well, come to find out, it cost $2,500 a man to enter it.
Yeah, not cheap.
And me and my wife were freshly married, and probably didn't even have that. We didn't have that in the bank account. And my wife was like, "What are you gonna do?" Well, Al's such a good guy. He was like, "Man, I'll spot you. You can pay me back, but I really need to run." Anyways, I borrow your horse, borrow your saddle. Zach Burson, Kendra, his wife, and me and Whitney jump in her diesel Jetta from the Bell Ranch, and we leave at about midnight and drive in all the way to Vegas one night. And we get there like Hicktown me, like I've never seen something like that. But we come over in the dark and see those lights, and like it was unbelievable. It was crazy. But my wife the whole time, she's like trying to be the submissive wife, like he's the head of the house. Like, okay, if we can make this work. Anyways, we get there and we made it short round. We were 17th callback, and anyways, we drew a dang good steer. I turned him. We were like 7 something. I can't even remember the time. Doesn't matter. But we were in the lead until the 6th place guy. From 17th callback to the 6th, and they bumped us to 7th, but ended up winning $30,000 a man.
Oh, wow.
And like, I mean, it was like, I've never seen that much money in my life.
Yeah.
And, and just such a God thing that.
No kidding.
But to not know that it cost $2,500, not know, I'm like, well, yeah, I'll go. But I didn't, anyway, it was cool.
Wow.
That Al was like, you want to go rope? It was fun.
That's a lick.
Yes, sir.
That's neat.
Yeah. But that the crackhead deal was the second year.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that is super neat. I didn't realize that you had been out there. I mean, I always knew that you were handy with the rope and had team roped, but a World Series thing is fun for guys.
It really is. It'll, like a lot of my friends, it's changed their life a bunch, or helped them out financially for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, so you're at the Bell, but let's back up. Where'd your cowboy story start?
How far do you want? Oh, like, well, I don't know how long you want this to take, but like, I'll start at the very, very beginning. Like, my folks, my dad, he grew up in Turkey, Texas. His whole family, they were in Texas. My mom's side, Lisa, they were in Colorado, the San Luis Valley up there. She was a vet tech at Clarendon while he was going to school up there. They met, and anyways, got married, had my 2 older sisters, and moved to Colorado for a minute, and then moved back. Had me, and then we moved back to Colorado. So there was, when we moved to Colorado, my dad had a place. It was or they leased a place. It was called the Adobe Ranch, north of Center, Colorado, and he run some cows on it. And them old winters then were pretty hard. I don't remember them. I was just a kid, but like in the 90s.
Cold up there.
Yes, sir. Like, I don't remember it, but there was some time in there that it never got above like 25 below for like 2 months. Like, it was just an ice box. Anyways, the place sold. We moved to a place in between Del Norte, Colorado, and South Fork. We lived on the north side of the Rio Grande River. And my dad, he did whatever he could to make money. I mean, he traded horses. He had a landscaping business. Or first he sold feed for Mormons before it turned to ADM. And then had a landscaping business.
The company,
and a fence.
Mormons.
Yeah, not the religion. No,
gotcha. No. Yeah.
Mormons.
Sold feed for the Mormons.
Yeah. Now, sold, he was a dealer, a rep for Mormons, built fence, landscaped, I mean, whatever,
Made it work.
And, but it was a cool place to grow up where my mom grew up. She grew up in Creed, in between Creed and South Fork. There's a little place, like, it's called Wagon Wheel Gap, and just on the other side of it is the 4UR Ranch, and that's where her and my uncle grew up with my grandparents, and like, but getting to grow up in that country, and that scenery, I do miss that. My middle sister still lives there.
That'd be different. I haven't hardly done anything up there.
Yeah,
just a little bit, but it does seem different.
But in the meantime, like, obviously, my family her dad's side was still down there, so we'd spend summers down here, or the Bursons would come up there.
Mm-hmm.
And one funny story I remember, like Zach, Dusty, and True, like Aunt Lana, Uncle Brian would send them up, and we'd hang out we'd have a week or two to play or whatever. And my dad had to go do something. He was working, and my mom was busy. She's always had goats and chickens and sheep and cows, whatever, you know. Well, anyways, they had a longhorn steer in the lot there, and I can't remember whose idea it was, but anytime all four of us got together, it was probably a bad idea. But somebody hooked the steer and tied it to a pretty new saddle in Dad's saddle house to like around the horn, and then we made True ride it, and then we went around chasing the steer while somebody drug on the steer. Well, it drug all the sheep hide off of that saddle. And
it was just like on the ground?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And when Dad got back, he was a mad son of a gun. He was not real happy with us, but
yeah, there's no telling which brother. I mean, it could have been you too, all four of them.
Yeah, it's probably them. I'm gonna blame it on them. Yeah,
probably Zach.
It might have been Zach. Yeah,
probably Zach.
But getting to grow up with them, like I say, all the memories that from up there to down there. It was about 2004 that we moved back. And I didn't want to move, but I was excited to get to be closer to them because they were in Silverton, and we moved to back to Turkey. But getting to see them more often, and that aspect of cowboying, like, you know, because it's so different up in Colorado. Like, they use, I mean, I know everybody does it different in Colorado, but it's not more of a buckaroo style, but it kind of is. They use
buckaroo tendencies.
Yes. Yeah. They use a lot of, trying to think of the word. It's been so long since we've even done it, but stakes and inner tube.
Oh, yeah.
Where everybody holds the calf.
What's that deal called?
No, it's not a North Fork. No, they didn't use a North Fork. It was like a stake in the ground, a rope to an inner tube, and then a rope, and they string the front feet, and then stretch them out. And I mean, there may be 7 to 8 draggers, and
78 draggers
at least. Yeah. But there'd be a bunch of draggers, you know, and then a ground crew. But it was different up there because everybody neighbored. And a lot of people, just like the women, would bring food, and everybody'd come, just kind of a community deal. Like, it wasn't like you're going to get paid, you know.
Right.
So coming down from that to down here to Turkey, where I got introduced to a lot of really, really good cowboys. Not saying like up there's some really good cowboys, but down here to different part of the world. I went to school with, Dakota, the Falcons were younger than me, but they were in school with me. And Charlie Walden, Fro's boy, he was in my class, which was neat to move from Colorado, where there was nobody that even cared anything about ranching or cowboying or rodeoing.
In your age group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we moved down here and got to be around guys like Fro and Ray and Cody Taylor and like guys like that. And I was like, wow, there's a huge difference in not them guys are a little bit slower. They walk a lot up there in Colorado. Like here we trot, and like it was different, a lot different. But
you went to school at Kittiquay?
No, in between Kittiquay and Turkey. It was they consolidated, and it was called Valley.
Valley, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ramsey's?
Zach Ramsey.
Brady Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
What was his little brother's name? Zach's little brother?
Brady.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I played Little League baseball with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when we started doing YouTube, we got our music off of a certain website, and Grady, or I was getting emails. I would have to email when a certain code wouldn't work, and it was this email Ramsey. And anyway, he was like, "Are you the same?" I was like, "Are you the same?" Anyways, ended up being Grady, and it was just a wild twist of fate that we came back together through email. But anyways, I remember going to Valley FFA stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But so yeah, what happened next?
So like I say, getting to change techniques, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
Like I grew up, like mom and dad always had cows, and my granddad, and taking cows up the mountain, and been horseback my whole life, like as a little kid, but going from up there to down here, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
And getting to day work around those guys, like really opened up a lot of a different, I don't know the word for it, but like I got to go a different path. Like I thought, well, I'll just get my ag degree and go do something else. But getting to work around those guys, it opened up a different door.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely, like, it's not what you know, I feel like in this industry, it's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're willing to work hard and do your job and show up and be kind and all those things,
Yeah.
and humble, and not saying I'm any of those, but they were kind enough to be like, man, we're going to go over here next week. You want to go with us? And load you up and go. And you got to meet other people and then go to another ranch and meet more people.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, after getting out of high school, I went to Clarendon, and I fought tooth and nail. I did not want to go to school at all, but mom and dad wanted me to go, and got
Were you
rodeo.
just taking normal classes, or did you do the
I was in
RFO?
I was in ag science, or no, animal science. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
And anyways, I got a rodeo scholarship, which I was terrible at. I'm not very good at any of it, but I did team roping and saddle bronc for 2.5 semesters, and then I roped with Coulter, and that's where me and Coulter
Dang, I didn't know that.
got to be good buds and got to live together. And anyways, got to rope together and do some things. But like I say, like them guys that were being 4 and 5 seconds in the team rope and run, I was 14 and 18 seconds, so I wasn't going to make it in that.
Yeah.
So,
well, you were going to make it later, at least enough to win some money at the World Series. But
yeah, well,
yeah,
no, blind hog finds an acorn every now and then.
There you go.
But we left Clarendon, and they wanted me. I got my associates and I was going to go to WT for a minute. Well, that lasted half a semester, and lived with a good friend of mine, Zach Stone, and I think he's got family in Memphis, and then Coulter. Well, I was terrible at school. Basically, ended up just quitting and getting any job I could get.
yeah,
And then another friend that was at Clarendon, he was in the RFO program, Cody Bowler, he calls, and he's like, hey, there's a feedlot job over in Texona. And we were talking about Halverson earlier, and that kind of rang a bell. Anyways, a guy named Pat Halverson had a feedlot in Freona called Texona. And I think it's now shut down. But we drive every day from Canyon to there and work all day and come back. And my 2 buddies that I'm living with are still in college and getting to sleep in every day, but I'm having to get up at 3 to get to work, or 3 or 4 to get to my job. Anyways, that was in August, I believe. August. And I worked there until about, it was the day before my birthday.
yeah.
I quit, and my brother-in-law called me. And his name's Ben Edwards, and like he's the most godly, like the best man, one of the best men I know. And
Is he the doctor?
He's
Yeah.
a doctor up in Lubbock. And he said, hey, and he was at Post then. And he said, "Hey, there's some cowboys down here needing a guy to, or a few young guys to help them start colts. Would you be interested?" And like I was appreciative of the job at the feedlot, but I was so sick of breathing in dirt and freezing my tail off, and the hottest months to the coldest months, it's just not much fun.
Absolutely. Agreed.
So I said, "Well, yeah." That was March 30th. On my birthday, I stayed the night, and then I packed all my stuff and I went to Post, and that's where I went to work for Jeff Williams and Rod Smith, and stayed with them for a while. And anyways, my one of my good friends, he was working there as well, and we're just visiting, fixing to go to the sale. They've got 2 different clients. They had a couple different ranches they were riding for, and all Jeff and Rod said was, "Do not mess with the client's daughters. Like, don't. And anyways, some of the guys around Post were telling me about this black-haired girl that one of these ranchers had as a daughter. I started in March, and the sales in May in Abilene. Well, anyways, long story short, me and that black-haired girl's got 3 kids and 1 expecting now. So I didn't listen to their words of wisdom, but it took me a long time to get her, but I finally got her. But anyways,
Funny.
Ever since I started riding bulls and punching fools, I've been wearing an American hat because I'm an American. I actually wore a different hat before that for the longest, but then my mom got a job. So wear an American hat, old son. Otherwise, you ain't no cowboy. I hope you're enjoying a ranch fuel as you're listening to this episode of Rodeo Time. Use code DALE on ranchfuel.com for 15% off, old son. Drink up and use code DALE on ranchfuel.com.
Did y'all have to like kind of date, court, like,
no,
or were they like a little
man,
more forgiving?
the first interaction I had with her, she was in the rodeo, in the Western Heritage Rodeo, and she was just came back from A&M. She's got her hat on her head and like carrying all her bags, and we were on the balcony up there being silly, and she walked by us, and I said, "Hey, will you save me a dance tonight?" And it's like she's always had pugs. She's leading her pugs. She said, like, she blew me off. Well, that night, like, we already sold our horses, so we're like, well, let's go have fun and go to the dance. Well, I walked up to her and asked her to dance, and she was like, "No, but my friend would like to." Hand me her friend. And then saw her at another sale and finally got to talking. But anyways,
Yeah, we
very thankful for her.
I ran it we ran in the same circles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was familiar with her. I never danced with her though.
When did you graduate? Did you graduate in 2009?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So what year did y'all get married?
In 2012.
Nice.
Yes, sir. And then, like I say, that was the story to the roping. Like, we just got married in September, and the roping's in December, and like, we're freshly married, don't have any money. We just spent everything on the honeymoon. Like, we're trying to live, and this guy asked me to go to rope. So, like I say, it was a God thing and a blessing that, I don't know.
What?
We
We weren't
went-
making
We
just a
weren't
ton of
making
money at the Bell at a camp job?
No. But
It's
I
like
will say
$1,200
that
a month or something.
that was a fun place. That was one of the coolest places I've ever got to work.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, no, I'm not throwing rocks at the Bell.
No, I
but,
know,
But
no.
like, there's,
But then
when
I
you're
thought I was-
furnished everything.
I thought I was cutting a fat hog. I said, "We got beef. We got a pickup.
Yep.
Honey, we're making money. That's good."
Those camp jobs pay not very much.
No, sir. But it was,
How long were you at the Bell?
right at 2 years.
What camp?
Mule camp.
Was
Yes,
that
sir.
when Wakefield was out there?
So Wakefield got there. I left here.
Or is that where you met him?
No, I'd met him before. I knew him from like, when they'd have the Tom Butler, they had it at Seymour, and then they had it at Post Week, and then all the rodeos. We got to be friends through that.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No.
So where'd you go after the Bell?
Well,
or what happened while you were at the Bell?
Well, can I back up a little?
Please.
If I do,
if you miss something, you got to back up.
I'll get sidetracked. So after Jeff and Rod, I worked for them for about a year and a half, and then decided I was just going to go out on my own and just ride some colts and day work. Well, in that, being with Jeff and Rod, it opened up a lot of opportunities to go day work at other places. So Rod would always go to, like Jeff would go to the Beggs, and we'd go to different ranches around. But Rod would always go to the Matadors, and that's how I got to meet. I mean, I knew Tim before, but not like that. But I'd go help him at the Matadors. We day work there. I left Jeff and Rod, and that was about the time that Chris quit Texas Tech. He went to back to the Matadors and worked there. Well, I was day working there. Well, anyways, he worked there about a year and then left. That would have been about 10, somewhere in there. And I was had a kind of a wake up call. My sister's kids, they were little bitty, and for some reason they trusted me to bring them back to Post one night. And I was dating Whitney at the time, and my little nieces are in the back, Ellie and Cass, and I was trying to hide putting a dip of snuff in. I put a dip in. Anyways, Ellie was, she couldn't have been 4 or 5, not very old. And she said, Uncle Kai, where do you live? And I said, well, I'm living with Nanny and Bear. That's my mom and dad. Like, I was just sleeping in my old room. And she said, are you married? And I said, well, no, baby, I'm not. I'm dating a girl, but no, we're not married. And then she said, well, why do you put that nasty stuff in your mouth? And I was like, well, baby, I don't know. And she said, well, maybe you're not married because you dip snuff and you live with your mom and dad. And I was like, well, anyways, no, I'm not kidding you. Like a week later, Zach was out there. Zach Burson was out there. And Chris calls me. Or Zach or Chris, I can't remember. I won't get my facts right. He's like, would you like to come out and help us? So I went out and helped a fall, come back, and he offered me a camp job. So that's how I got that. Anyways, but then I stayed out there about a year.
When he was at the Bell.
When Chris was.
When Chris was at the Bell.
Yeah.
Got you.
Zach was at headquarters. Well, he was at West Camp, and then Rim left, and then Zach was wagon boss. And then, anyways, Chris lived there, I mean, just as a crow flies, like 30 feet, 40 yards maybe from that bottom house.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was probably the most special time of our lives. And I'm not saying like taken away from kids or anything. Like, our kids are the most precious things on this earth to us. But that time that me and Whitney got to spend there, and the time I got to spend with the Cowboys that were there, like the crew that Chris and Zach lined up, like it was all young, all the same age, and still lifelong friends. Like there was Brian Clark, Brady, and he lived with me for a while. Brady Clark, Trace Campbell, Crouton, Colton Overcash, Zach, Ryan, like True, he come out a bunch. Like, it was absolutely, like, it was a dream for me. Mm-hmm. It was dry, dirt blowing everywhere, but it was the best.
Cholla cactus everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was an experience that I'll never get to experience again.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you know that when you were in it?
No, I mean, like I loved it. Like, I didn't want to go home. Like, I really didn't. Like, or, that first year before me and Whitney got married, that in 11, like I was like, man, this is the coolest thing I've ever done.
Dang.
Been horseback my whole life, but not getting to drive horses 20 miles to the next camp and hitching the wagon, setting up the fly, and putting your house out there. And that was neat. Like it was as close as you could have got to the old days. Gathering them big pastures and kicking them in traps, and then branding them the next day, and then going to the I don't know. It was.
Yeah, and then
something I cherish for sure. A memory that I'll never forget.
The first year and 2 years of your marriage.
And first camp job like that, there's a lot of pressure. Like I can't mess up, But it wasn't like that because all them guys were just good as gold.
Yeah, an all-star crew.
Yeah,
that's cool.
A young crew that was just as hungry as I was. I mean, with all of them.
When I went out there that spring, it must have been right after you left.
Yep, but that'd have been 14 or 15 probably.
Yeah, 14, I believe.
Yeah,
because it was the spring after my dad died. My dad died in 13.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was 14. Anyway, yeah, Chris was still there.
Yes, sir.
And Zach and Charlie cooked. Did he cook while you were there?
No, he didn't. But I will say this: and Kent Rollins was there.
Yeah, that's right.
For the first wagon and half of the other. He had to leave on the other, but that in itself was a treat.
Yeah.
Yes, him and Shannon were unbelievable. That was the best cooking. He was really good.
Yeah,
treated you right and treated you like family.
Isn't there a documentary about him or something, or a little video or something that you were in? A
long time ago. Yes, sir.
During that deal.
Yes, sir.
So what's next?
So after the bell, we went for a minute in Gale, and then after that, we went to Merkel. Casey Armstrong hollered at me and had a place down there. He's like, "Man, I'm getting overloaded with colts. Do you want to partner up and ride horses together?" I was like, "Yeah, that's great."
How did you feel about leaving a camp job? What was it? And then,
man, it was hard because like I said, I didn't want to leave. It was just one of them deals we needed to leave. But me and Whitney talk about it all the time. Like, man, I wish we could go back to the Bell, go back to mule camp,
go back to that time.
Because it's just it was, I don't know the word for it, but it's almost like you're in your own world out there. I've got to tell one story at the Bell before we go on. So it was a Sunday, we had it off, and it was before I was married, and Trace and Ryan were with me. And anyways, a little single cab pickup. I was going to go check the mail. Well, this is back when Ryan dipped snuff, and he had he always dipped Longhorn Straight that smelled absolutely horrible. If I smell it right now, I promise you I'd throw up. But anyways, he thought he'd have to dip half the can, not just a little dip, he'd put half of it in his mouth. He decided to sit in the middle. We get in. We're going to drive all the way to the mailbox. And he decides to sneeze. Or I don't know. I know it was a sneeze, but he sneezes and there's snuff everywhere, all over the windshield. And there's snot coming out of his nose. And Trace goes to throwing up. I go to throwing up. And he, typical Ryan, "What happened?" That's what he says.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Anyways, I'll never let him forget that, because I guarantee you, if that pickup's still out there, it still smells like Longhorn Straight.
Longhorn Straight, and it's still got little flakes of tobacco all over it.
Ugh.
Oh.
No, but like I say, with that crew, all of them, it was so fun. Every one of them.
Yeah. Bronc rides.
Gary Morton was there, and Gary Green. I like to say, there was an older crew there too as well. Like Morton he was youthful. All of them were. Green and Gilbert Senna.
Yeah.
But that was a blast.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And sounds like everybody could rope too.
Yes, sir. That first year that we branded, I know everybody has a big fish story, but those calves, they waited a little while on that first wagon, just trying to get all the kinks worked out on pulling the team out. And them calves got big on us. And I'm not kidding you. If I'm lying them down, you can call any of them. You would wear out a rope in a dragon because there's a bunch of calves, but right behind the Honda, about 6-8 inches. It would just break down right there.
Yeah.
You just have to cut it off and retie it and put a new speed burner in it because they were so big.
Yeah.
But them horses were tough, rock rolling rascals. They were good horses.
And they kept all the cows in the herd while you were dragging, right?
We'd strip a few off, but yes, sir. Yeah, for
Yeah.
the most part, we'd keep all the cows on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was the only time I've really ever been around that.
Yeah. But anyway, so that went to Casey Armstrong's, or down in Merkel. Me and Whitney bought a little place there south of town, and we didn't stay but about a year. We found out we were pregnant with our oldest, Lila, and that's when Tim called Washington from Matadors, and he's like, "Man, got a camp open up here, and with young family, we're like, we need the insurance. We'll go up there." So we moved to Matador for the first time. Been there, I guess, 3 times, but that was the first go at it at the headquarters, and stayed up there for year and a half too, and that's when Park. Me and him talked at Fuston one time, and he's like, "Man, what are you doing?" I said, "Man, we're just living up there and doing this." And he said, "Well, would you want to come down and take a camp job?" And I said, "Yeah," because I was at that point in my life. I thought, "Man, I really want to go to showing these horses and get better as a horseman. And what better way to go down there and ride with Park, as handy as he is with one." So that's when we moved to Goliad.
Yeah.
Lived down there.
I think about that move for you quite a bit as a cowboy. Like personally, I think about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's way down there, but it's such a neat thought to be that committed to. I mean, you've also got a camp job. It's not like you were down there just training horses. Like you guys are working cows, and you're getting paid to provide a service, but also having just an intention of, I'm going to learn while I'm here, and I'm going to grow, and that you have added purpose to better yourself as a cowboy. And I don't know, I just think about that because watching you with a horse and watching your ability to rope it, and it just seems like you've stayed a student of the game. Have you always been like that, or was that something that around that time?
Oh, I don't know. I've always been hard-headed and didn't listen very good. I know that, but I just felt like, I know people have commented like, why do you move around so much? And I'm like, because I want to, this sounds kind of corny and cliche, but I've seen one guy say, he said, "I just want to see what's over that next hill."
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to see and learn what's over that next ridge. Like I've never been there. I want to go. But going there, thinking like it was neat because I did get the camp life side of it, but also learned a lot on the cow side of it from Park. Like they rotated their cows every 11 to 14 days depending on the pasture and the climate and everything. But also, like, it taught me a lot how hard them guys work. Like Park. It was dang sure like a gut check for me. It's like, is this what you want to do for the rest of your life? I'm not built like them. Like those guys, like Kelby, Park, Boyd, Jordan Williams, and those are only the ones I know personally. They're not animals. They're machines, because animals sleep. Like those guys are freaks. I don't know how they do what they do every day, day in, day out
with a horse.
Well, yeah, and to do what they do, and keep their sanity. Like to get up at, like Park would be like, meet me at the barn at 3. Well, I'd get there at 2:50, and he'd already have the round pen plowed, watered, and the arena watered and plowed, and have 6 horses on the walker and 2 saddled. And I'd get there at 2:50. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But that was every day. Like he's a hard-working rascal. I'm proud to know people like that. But like, it was good for me to go down there, but it was also, and I learned a lot from him. But I was like, man, I'm not built like that.
Yeah.
Like, I like getting up about 5:30, drink your coffee, and then go catch a horse and go do something, you know.
Right.
But for them to get on one horse and know exactly what that horse needs right then, like, you'd think their program's all the same on one horse, but like, I've seen Park and Kelby, all of them, like, they'll ride this horse a certain way and get on this horse and do something completely different because they're that in tune with that horse, and they know, I need to work on this today. Like, they may go down on the fence on this one or cut on this one, or, you know, everything. But so much respect for those guys, like, that do it day in and day out. Like, so much respect.
Yeah, trotting in circles.
No.
Oof.
And True's built that way. You know, True's he's his mindset of like, I'm just going to get on this horse and do what he needs today. Like, I don't know, but a lot of props to them guys for their effort.
So at that time when you went down there was a part of you that thought you might have wanted to go down that path?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And like I didn't go to many, but I went to a couple like rope horse deals with Park and a couple little like shot shows, and then I can't remember, like RHAAs.
Mm-hmm.
And he had an old mare, or a mare he had that he let me ride, and then I rode a couple others. But I was glad I did it, but I know it wasn't for me, you know. But I'm glad there is guys that do it like that. Yep.
So, did it feel like as much of a change? So you went from Colorado to, Bell and then Matador. Was it as much of a change to go to Goliad?
Absolutely. And that's what I'll say too. Like, I've been up to Nebraska, northern Colorado, all around Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, like day working. And everything is different, but there's good cowboys everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yes, from the change from New Mexico to Matador to there, definitely different. Like, but like Park, I mean, kudos to him, because his dad was like, go see the world for a minute and then come back and like get your degree, and I need you to run this ranch. Like, but he went and worked and seen how everybody else worked. Like, he runs a crew good. I mean, he runs a crew just like Sixes or whoever, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's efficient and it's not.
I've heard it's good. As good of friends as we are, I've never been invited or seen it. Park.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about it. Park.
Bart.
Never been invited.
My dad took him and True to Lubbock one time. I can't remember. The pickup was broke down. My dad's hard of hearing. And he said, "Now, what's your name again?" And he said, "Park." And Dad's driving, it's quiet, and he's like, "You partial to turd hounds, Bart?" And True was like, "His name is Park." And he said, "Yeah, Bart." So that's what we call him, is Bart.
I will now call you Bart.
But no, stayed there for a while, and then when we found out there's alligators in the dirt tanks, like, we got mosquitoes everywhere. But no, it was fun, and I enjoyed it, and that was a good time of our life. But found out we were pregnant with Grace, my oldest boy, and moved back actually to Guthrie, and we got this place bought out here from Stoney, we lived there lived in the little rent house or one of the schoolhouses for a minute, or ranch houses that was open. And then another camp come open at Matador. That's when we moved to Lucky Knob. And anyways, got to live out there for a couple years, and it was a really good time. Neat country. Like, I don't know if you've ever been out there, but
I haven't.
It's a little rougher than like the headquarters country and stuff, but got to spend a lot of time with family and like take them with us. They got us a 4-door, and like every time something would happen, we'd go out there and just hang out as a family. Like, it was good learning experience with Christ and Lila, and anyway, but the ranch come up for sale about when was that? 2020, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just broke my leg, and they took care of me, and they I mean, through all of it. But then they were like, man, they're probably going to split it up. They're not going to keep it as a whole, and then whoever buys it, they're probably not going to keep whoever's at that camp. So I mean, I was needing to go somewhere, I thought, and that was about the time me and Tim went to, I talked to Dusty, and he was up at Dixon Creek, and that was about the time we went up there
For that spring.
I mean, we just came for we were going to work 2 days, and we got snowed out and hailed out, or rained and hailed out, and that's when I took that job up there.
Yeah.
But which that was a hard deal, because Tim's such a good friend, you know, and I didn't want to leave him, but also I was like, I've got my family, and I don't know what to do, really. If they sell it and they want to put their own man in there. It was about like leaving the bell, you know, like I didn't want to leave, but if I stayed and they kicked us out, we was gonna have to hunt a box to live in.
Yeah. I remember you showing up that spring and Tim being with you. I didn't realize that's why, you know, because he was at Matador's for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, still there. Yep.
But yeah, West Camp, and then that's a whole nother world, going to the Panhandle.
Yeah, it really is. From the Rockies to the New Mexico to the swamp, or not swamp, but the coast, to the windiest place in America, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, got all the windmills there.
Yeah.
And then you've been pretty much with the Sixes the whole time since.
Well, like after we left West Camp, we had this place here, and we finally decided to build a place on it. And the place got done, and it was almost like, do we rent it and stay up there? Because we didn't want to leave. Because that crew in itself was Coulter, Zane, Dusty, Zach, even like everybody.
I was there a lot.
And Dale,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and everybody there, like every single person, like everybody went to church in the same spot except Rusty, because he had his own church. But
Yeah.
leaving there was tough. But anyways, we went to decided to move back, and it was kind of a toss up where to go. But Matador's offered me a job again, because they'd sold and Collier's bought the headquarters part, and they had a spot in between Guthrie and Dickens. So I thought, well, they were like, well, that'll be handy. You can just commute from here to Dickens, and they had a place in McAdoo as well. So anyways, took that job and stayed with them for a while, and just driving back and forth. And it was a great job, and I'm thankful for it, but I'm just on the road quite a bit. So I decided
That's a big commute.
Yeah. I decided I'd just do my own deal, and then this deal come open here at the ranch.
Now you've pioneered West Camp of Guthrie,
Yeah.
which it didn't previously have.
They used to have a north and south. Now they have a west.
Right. Yeah. And now Dusty's here, and you're back got the band back together.
That's right. Yeah. I'm excited he's back. I really am.
I'm excited that your back surgery went well.
Man, I am too. And I will say this for the man I work for, that Taylor Sheridan is a saint and he cares about his men.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked for a lot of good people and I've never put them in that position to do that, but I had bad back trouble and like I didn't have to pay for a hotel and he told me not to worry about a thing.
Dang.
Which is a huge like weight off of our shoulders to be able to say, you know, like, man, wait, he said don't worry about a thing and he is taking care of us.
Yeah.
So to work for somebody like that is a blessing in itself because I mean, for him to even know my name and to even know that I'm struggling and then say, don't worry about it.
Well, it's tough because I had the same surgery.
Yep.
And you can technically you can operate. Like technically, yeah, I don't have to go have a surgery today. I'm just going to be in pain all day though.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't stand up straight.
Yep.
And so but as a working man, it's tough like to just sign up for an 8-week break from work.
Exactly.
You know, like, hey, if I just, maybe there's another way, maybe there, and then finally, you know, you talk to the doctor and it's like, no, we need to do this surgery and it'll help you. And I say that to say that that's probably, in addition to him having your back, you know, when it comes to, you know, financially, but also just giving you a pat on the back, like, hey, get it done, and you know, we'll
peace
see
of mind
on
that
other side
that
of
the
it.
job
Peace of mind is the
job
word.
will still be there when you get back. Like that's unheard of, really. Like
Right, that had to feel good.
It really did. I was thankful for it. He definitely took some weight off our shoulders.
Were you able to pinpoint like maybe an injury, like something that happened that caused it?
Man, like riding ranch broncs a long time ago, I had a couple step on me, and then one time I had a horse flip over on me, and I landed like square on my tailbone, and it compressed like 5 of my vertebrae.
Dang!
Like, and I swelled up from in between my shoulder blades down past my calf, or not my calf, my thigh, and it gave me trouble. And I've had that sciatic problem for a while. Like each year, I'll have it once or twice.
Yeah.
Week, 2 month, you know.
Yeah.
And it's gone. But this started this February and just progressively got worse and worse. And I went and saw everybody I could, and I couldn't get any relief. And finally, Kelby and Dusty, I think, I think Taylor was just checking on his Cowboys, but I think Dusty and Kelby both, they were like, man, everybody's good or whatever. And I don't know what they said, but he called me, and I didn't have his number. And like when the caller ID pops up, you know, it's like Taylor Sheridan. I was like, dang, I'm probably getting fired right now. And he told me about the Carroll Clinic there in Dallas. And he's like, you need to talk to my doctor. His name's Andrew Dossett.
Yeah,
I'll set it up. They're going to call
same
you.
one that did mine.
Like he set up everything, and they called me, and they're like, here's when you need to be in, everything. And like, I don't know.
I was the one that introduced Taylor to him.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just kidding. Taylor, you need to see my guy. He's a no BS doctor though, huh?
Oh man, yeah.
It's funny like how he's just like, cut to the chase.
Yeah, he was telling me a story about cutting on President Bush, and I was like, he's like, you did President Bush's, and like, but to walk down his hall is pretty cool.
Yeah, with all the Troy Aikman, Tony Romo, Pudge Rodriguez,
all the
Jewel,
Texas Rangers, Jewel, Joe Beaver.
Yeah, he's Tandy's guy. That's who I knew who he was. Like for backs and necks, like that's Tandy's guy.
But super good clinic. Like they're spot on.
Well, I'm glad you're on the mend.
Well, thank you, buddy.
When can you get horseback?
They said November 4th is
when
I go back day after tomorrow. Check it out.
Sweet.
It'll be hot. Everything heals. All bleeding stops eventually is what my brother-in-law says.
Right.
Pretty good doctor.
Yeah. Hello.
What are y'all doing?
We're doing a podcast.
Are y'all still doing it?
Yeah. I'm about to ask him for life advice.
What are you going to ask him?
For life advice.
You think he has any?
I don't know. Do you think he does?
I bet he's got some.
Is there a story I should ask him?
No, I don't know.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, you usually give me a little heads up on that.
None that you can tell on camera, probably.
Yeah. No stories you can tell on camera. But no, we're about to wrap it up.
Y'all are good. I just make sure you tell him and Donnie both we're cooking supper over here.
You got me a T-bone?
Yeah.
I'll take my medium rare.
All right. Well, tell him he better make his life advice fast.
Okay, we'll see you in a minute. All right, goodbye. What you got for life advice?
Man, for any young cowboy or anybody, I would like to say, don't get hung up on your identity in your occupation. Don't chase. I know, like, God puts something in you that you want to win, and you are to win. But I would say, like, your identity doesn't need to be in being the best cowboy or the best bull rider or best bronc rider.
Yeah.
But put your identity, or like, what does God see you as? Like, your identity in Christ is what matters most. Like, get your priorities right, and everything will follow suit. Like,
Dang, that's so good.
my favorite, one of my favorite verses, and it's like I say, everybody knows John 3:16, but like John 3:17, that's one of my favorites. Like, you never know who's watching, so try to be the light and try to be a good example, because them little kids and even older people are watching what you're doing. And we're not here to please man. We're here to serve God. But in serving God, we need to be who He called us to be. If that, like in John 3:16 through 17, for God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And in 17, it goes on to say, for God did not send His Son into this world to condemn the world, but that the world through Him might be saved. So, like I say, we're not here to condemn people, but try to lift them up and try to save them.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know how good advice that is, but
That's right on the money.
that's what Jesus said anyways. And I'm not near who I want to be, and I'm not near the example I want to be, but to those that are trying to be good cowboys, put God first,
Yeah.
and then your family, and then your occupation, and see how it changes.
Man, I got to thinking about, it's great. It's crazy that you say that about the identity. Like, I've played like 5 rounds of golf and in my life. And so I just find myself, like, randomly I would be with a friend. Like, I was with some buddies in Cheyenne, killing a couple of days, and played some golf. And it was just really, like, I was comical.
Right.
And,
Yes, sir.
they make fun of me and I make fun of myself. And then, like, with like bronc riding or something, rodeoing, like, I found myself not so easy to be made fun of.
Right.
But why? Like, they're both activities, they're both sports. Why
Right.
does it not bother me when somebody makes fun of my golf game? But it does bother me when somebody makes fun of my bronc riding. And I just realized, like, well, I don't care about golf, but bronc riding, my identity was tied up in that.
Yeah, I'm a bronc rider.
Yeah. Like, if somebody, anyways, I felt like that was a telltale sign for me that my identity was getting wrapped up into something.
No.
As if I couldn't take a joke, or if it was just offensive to me if somebody
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that was to me that revealed that my identity was wrapped up in that thing.
Yeah, well, like with my leg and my back or whatever, like I'm out for a while and I'm seeing all these guys going to these rodeos and just smoking them. And like I need to be there. I like, and I feel like it's God. Like, no, you don't. You need to be still and just hang out with you. Like, you need to be right here. Like, I'm learning a lesson through it. Is all I'm saying. And there's a lesson to be learned in everything. And my dad's grandma, the Burson's grandma, it'd be my great grandma, our great grandma. She always said something that it helps me a lot if I remember it every day. She'd hand you a Bible and she said, "This book will keep you from sin, but also sin will keep you from this book."
Dang.
So you need to stay in the Word. So I don't know. That's my advice.
That's heavy.
Yep.
Wow. Man, I appreciate you jumping on here.
You bet, man. Thank you. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't.
No, I've been wanting to do this one for a while.
Ruin your podcast deal.
No. Sorry to ruin your Black Panther party. No, this was good, man. Especially as much as you come up in the Texas Cowpuncher series. So it's good to have you on.
Should be a Texas Sodbuster series with me on it.
Well, we still got tomorrow. We'll have fun.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get around them.
Thank you, Dale.
Thanks for jumping on here.
Yes, sir.
On to the next one, everybody. Pow, pow.
RodeoTime.com is the only website that should exist because it's the greatest apparel line that has ever existed. So go there now to get a t-shirt, a hoodie, a cap, a vest, whatever it is you need. Go to RodeoTime.com, old son.